Hello and good morning. Bright and early this morning. We had a rather cool night last night. Got down to 8.1 degrees Celsius. Today is my cousin's birthday and I get to donate the greens, which makes me happy. Also, this is going to be my first harvest of turnip. This one's got a fair size. This is about the size they get when we harvest them. So, I think there's another one there to get. I'm going to get a turnip and turnip greens at the same time. Now, the other ones are not quite big enough to harvest yet. So as these here are getting larger, the leaves are coming up over the beans that I got planted here. And so this will be the second time I've taken some back away so that the beans are out in full sunlight. Lettuce is another thing I'm getting, and there's a lettuce plant right here. So since I'm here harvesting away from the bean plant, I might as well take this lettuce as well. There's that bean plant. Where's the other one hiding? Okay, we'll go with that. Let's find some more lettuce that's growing among the other plants. I have two different kinds here. See, this one has a reddish tint. This one has the corn is spaced out. He did cover a little corn there though. Just going to do it a cut and come again thing, see if it works. The arugula is bolting, as you can see. When plants bolt, the taste changes. Most people say it gets bitter, but it's a matter of personal preference. And even though these plants are gone to flower, I like the taste of arugula even at this stage. So I'm going to harvest it, and my aunt, she will taste it before she puts it in the salad and decide whether she wants it there or not. Another thing about arugula, they don't seem to get attacked by the slugs and flea beetles as much. There's the occasional hole, but the leaves on this is much nicer than what I find on the lettuce and turnip greens. I'm going to add flowered pieces and all. This is actually my first time growing spinach. Give a little taste of this bolted one. Definitely not bitter, not much taste at all. This is the other kind. I don't know which is which right now. Not much taste of spinach. That being said, now it's as the one lady said, the veggies is only good for getting the dip to your mouth. Well, spinach, while it is nutritious as far as taste goes, it adds bulk to your salad as well. And you just put the salad dressings on it, right? I'm going to let it bolt as I do with all the other greens. Next year I'll have volunteer spinach. but I will probably grow them in a bigger bed next year. Because I don't have much this year, and I think it's a good addition. Something that's such a mild taste as spinach. It's a great addition to a salad, because you can make the salad taste whatever way you want then, right? Yeah, it looks like she's not going to get much spinach, but that'll be okay. Now after I deliver this, and I got a couple other tasks to do, a couple things to put in pots and do some line trimming, and I'm going to record a video of what's new on the homestead in 15th of July 2022. So I've got the line trimming done and some plants potted up, and we're going to start right here. You see this bed? The other day I was watching this Zorab. Now I put my sprinkler in at the end of this bed of potatoes here, and it covers these 14 beds, which means of course it's a circle, so the water comes out around here as well. Now Liz just reminded me of that gardening method where they just mow the grass down, lay the potatoes down, put hay on top. And she done it with hay, and then she tried an equal amount with the bedding from her duck pen. And I thought, I've got to clean out the hen's pen, and I have extra potato sets that I want to put somewhere, and I didn't have anywhere to put them. Well, maybe I'll just throw a frame down on the ground. So I mowed down the grass, I threw down a frame. This is just timber that I picked up on the beach going along beach combing. And then I cleaned out the hen's pen. I put down a layer of bedding from the hen's pen. I laid potatoes on top and then put down another layer. So there's about 6 to 8 inches of hen bedding there, set out with 30 potatoes. They are starting to come up. This is only a week ago, but one there. I seen one over there. It looks like there's one barely coming through the ground there. Another one there. Another one there. So there's several. But look at this. This is dandelions. Of course, they come up through a awful lot of mulch. I just did that on the sod because that's the way that it was popularized. Just throw potatoes down on the sod and put the bedding over it. I got the wood chips, the branches that was here. I finally got them chipped up in my little chipper, and I put the chips out there. So I'll take my mower now and I'll mow this down. I can put another one of those beds down here. I don't have anything set in it yet, but I'm thinking about for next year, because like I said, I put the sprinkler in there. If I've got another bed here, it's only a matter of setting it out. The biggest thing that takes up time is if you've got a hand water. That takes a lot of time, and it's very difficult to get enough water. But I'm running sprinkler. That won't matter. So I'm going to put another bed here, put down a frame. I'll put down cardboard for this year, so I'll have all the sod underneath pretty much killed off by the time next spring comes around. So we'll have 2 new beds next year. That one there and another one beside it. Couldn't do without my tomatoes, so I went and I bought 10 tomato plants. As you know, I was gifted one before I even bought those, and it's growing wonderfully. Right when I planted it, it was just way down here. Now it's growing right up here, and it's putting on fruit. Somewhere in there, hopefully. Yeah, right there they are. Some nice fruit there. But the person that gifted it to me let me know it was early Siberian. So I'm like, ooh, I want to keep that. So I moved it over there away from these, and I'll keep seeds of early Siberian now. But I bought 10 of these, and then through the jigs and the reels, I ended up with 6 more. So I've got 17 tomato plants. These 4 here are the ones that I potted up just this morning. When I bought them, I also bought a cucumber plant, and it's flowering. Oh, that's a female. No, it's not. Thought it was a female there for a minute. There's a female starting right there. So these flowers that's open now are just male flowers, but there's, like I said, a female bud starting right there. So that's a cucumber plant, and it's just drooping because of the heat. This one is starting to flower. This is a winter squash, might be butternut. Those green bits here, that was the stinging nettles that I mowed down with the line trimmer earlier today. But the back right there, that is a butternut. I think that's just, it just says butternut on the package. That was a package I had gotten a long time ago, actually. These are just struggling to survive still. The pepper that I put in the middle, I didn't expect that to come to anything anyway. So this is the golden pearls. That one was good, the huckleberry. You see, it's put on a couple of flowers. I don't know if it's going to come to anything, but there's flowers. That's that one. And this one's got a flower on it as well. That tomato plant certainly looks like Tiny Tim to me. And it looks like it might be trying to flower. So the other thing I did with this bed, I put a butternut in each corner. So remember, I direct sowed butternut, and I had them over on the other bed, and I transplanted, so one on each corner of this bed, and then put the other one over there in where the compost bin was. That's my hardiest pepper I got. I put them in a bigger pot this morning, and I put them out here. Of course, the insects will pollinate it, right? And I don't have to worry about it. As long as we get warm weather, it'll keep putting out flowers and be pollinated. This Shiitake ghost pepper, I put them up into bigger pots as well, and they're flowering. See all the flowers on them? So I'm just waiting now. I'm very hopeful that I'm going to get quite a few hot peppers off this. The peppers on those, according to the pictures I've seen from John at Will It Grow, is they're very small but very hot. So you remember the pile of leaves that I took out from the compost bin? They wouldn't decomposing very well, matted down there in the compost. I ran the top bit through this, and this is what came out the other end. Now it was clogging up in there, and as I got further down into the pile, it got wetter, so I ran it over with the lawnmower and kept fluffing up the pile and running it over, running it over until I got it all chipped up. Well, seeing that, I was like, ooh, excellent mulch for these carrots. Looking nice now, eh? Of course, I went through and I weeded and put down. Oh, this is all leaf mold now. A complete covering of this bed. That bed over there is growing better because it had the compost. This one didn't. And now this one will grow much better till I've got that done. I only got a couple spaces right there. And there was one flower. That's the second flower for the California poppy. That's another flower that you selectively let one grow here and there throughout your garden for the pollinators. And of course it's medicinal as well. And this tassels. This is the corn, Gaspé Flint. So that should be soon. We should start seeing the female part where the actual cob grows coming out. Looks like I'm going to get some good corn this year. The rest of the leaf mold I put here in the bed of disappointment. There is some sugar beets growing there, as you can see, but not many. And then that half is done in compost. Mulch everything you can. All the onions are mulched, and now of course you can see them much better because the grass, the meadow clippings are gone brown, and you can see how well the onions that are growing, you can see how well they're growing. That's where I harvested the turnip this morning. This is a beauty, but I'm noticing I got yellowing on the leaves for the beans. They're gonna produce, but I don't know exactly how to go about correcting the nutrient deficiency there. Got mulching around here. I put some of the leaf mold here because I didn't have mulch. And yeah, so we've got the white scallop squash, 2 here, and then this is the vegetable marrow. They won't cross because they're 2 different species. I've been checking to see, I haven't seen any flowers yet, but these plants, see there's a bud starting down there. These plants are getting big. They should be able to produce. I mean, it's only July the 15th. They should be able to produce for me. This bed, now we're in between the 2 forsythia. I bought these plants as pineberry, but they ain't white, and they taste pretty much like regular strawberries. So I got the wrong plants or whatever. It came as a bunch of plants. Oh, and that's the other thing with this bed. I put some purchased potting soil in here on this bed a few years back. So I don't know if that's the reason. Nothing wanted to grow in this bed for the longest time, and I put those plants there and they survived, but they were struggling and struggling. And it's only this year, after me putting compost and having a mulch and that on top of it, that it's actually starting to grow anything. I had a brainstorm. So you see that? The water dribbling out of there. I can move this. And the water slowly dribbles out. Of course you can see the big wet spot there. Now, it's the outflow from the little pond. So I got that connected there. This is just a cheap old garden hose I had. I had to buy a better garden hose for use. So I had this laying around. And like I was saying, hand watering takes up a lot of time. And this is what I come up with. So there was that outflow, and I said if I hook the hose up to that, it'll run down here gravity flow. This area here along this section of fence is so dang dry. And it just remains dry. It rains and a day later and it's just bone dry again. Partly because of the tree probably, but partly because of the soil as well. So there was some nasturtiums. You see the nasturtiums growing there. So that's why I've got the hose here right now. But I could, over time, move that in different places all along the fence. And straight line distance, that will reach right to the opposite side of the middle portion here. So if I want to, I can give that a bit of water too. And it's just a matter of moving the hose and then walking away and forgetting about it. Of course, this is the biggest reason for these ponds, is to keep the water that's flowing out from the well on the property and not letting it just flow on down and just over the embankment. Today, I trim this down. I'm going to put a dam right here now and see how much the water backs up. It seems to be fairly dry down there now. I don't know if it's drying out because I'm taking that little bit. When it gets the dam there, we'll see if it's backing up, and maybe I'll take that hose off again and see if it'll back up and flow out over the dam down here. if I get a outflow on the second pond, then I'd connect the hose to that outflow. And so as I was doing the trimming and clearing out so I can see the pond again, I decided I'd move those rocks out. They were all in here by the edge of the bed, see? So I moved those rocks out there and cleaned this up, and I even ran the lawnmower up there. So now I got this bed all cleared around, looking nice, and I can get around it and do a proper weeding. I don't think I showed you this yet. I did come by, except for the few flowers that I wanted to leave there, I pulled up the plants that were out here, the weeds, and I set potatoes. They were growing out, some of them growing out fairly long, but they're coming along. So there's potatoes set in here as well, and they're not going to get watered very much. I did though think about an idea this morning. See, that one's growing excellent. When they get up a bit, I'll mulch them like I normally do with the potatoes. But I did think of an idea of watering these beds this morning. And if it works, well, I'll let you know. Yeah, well, I thought of a few ideas. But the one I'm like, ooh, I should have the materials for that already. Potatoes are growing along here. And so I have a equivalent now of about 10 beds of potatoes planted. So 10 times 30, that's 300 sets. And as far as I know, that is the what's new here. Hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, and yeah, come back for more. There's always new and exciting in the garden.